Start a run. The Series 4 Apple Watch is here on my wrist. I've been wearing it for the past couple days and I've been loving it so much. But before I get into that, here's a quick clip of me unboxing it because it was a very special experience. Here it is. I've waited so long to open this and I'm finally opening it up. Gabby has that second angle. Let's see what's in here. How do I open this? Ooh, 2 flaps. Whoa! Just as beautiful as I thought it was gonna be. Oh my goodness, this Apple Watch packaging stepped up the game this year. Like, look at that. That's like, bam, new Apple Watch. Wow. So we get 2 boxes, Apple Watch band and the Apple Watch itself. Let's start with the Apple Watch. And yes, it comes in this cute little casing, little protective case. Oh my goodness. Wow, it's so pretty. Look at that. Gabby, don't you want an Apple Watch? Oh, it's already turning on. Wow. Wow. This looks so pretty. Hold on. I'm gonna take off my bracelet so I can really enjoy this. My goodness. New Apple Watch. Look at that. Wait, it's a little bit loose. Man, this honestly, like, just like looking at the old one to this, like, this looks so outdated now. And then after opening it up, I paired it to my phone, which is always pretty easy and quick with every Apple Watch that I've had before. It is by far the most beautiful looking Apple Watch to ever exist, in my opinion, especially with the new gold color that matches the new iPhones. Like, it looks so good. And I did go with the stainless steel version, even though it's a little pricier, just because that's one of the main reasons that I updated the watch in the first place, like the looks of it. I was just so drawn by its beauty. But color aside, the 30% larger and rounded display on these new watches looks amazing. Like, I can't believe that they weren't rounded before on the previous Apple Watches because it just makes so much more sense with the overall body of the watch. Like, Apple, what were you doing before? But yeah, it's way better now. And the bigger screen also makes it easier to just navigate around the watch and go into apps and view pictures. Before, it was a little more difficult to do that. Now, you can do that a lot easier. Also, with these larger and rounded displays, we have some new watch faces that really take advantage of that, like this new infograph one that I'm using right now, which can fit up to 8 complications at once. But I have it down to 6 because 8 was just a little too much for me, I think. And I usually tend to go for a simpler watch face anyway. But I mean, it looks good and it's definitely functional. I just don't know how long I'm gonna use it. The watch comes in 2 new sizes, 40mm and 44mm versus the previous 38 and 42. And this is the 40mm because the other size is just too big for my wrist. But comparing to my previous 38mm, really doesn't feel that different. Like, yeah, it looks thinner and it's bigger, but weight-wise, I mean, I don't really feel a difference. This one does feel heavier though, just because of the band that I'm using, the fancy Milanese band. I've just never had one of these before, so yeah, that makes it feel heavier, but the overall watch feels pretty much the same. Oh, and if you're wondering if the old bands work with the new one, they do. Thank goodness. You do not have to go and buy a whole bunch of new bands. I mean, I kind of did anyway, so stay tuned for that watch band haul video. But yeah, all the bands work with the new ones. There's also better and louder speakers on the Series 4 watch, which has been great because, I mean, not that I'm gonna use them for music listening or anything like that, but I do pick up phone calls on my watch, so just for that alone, I appreciate those louder speakers very much. And also, if you talk to your watch, like if you activate Siri or make phone calls, like I said, the microphone is much more conveniently placed between the crown and the power button, which, yeah, just makes more sense to place it there. When it comes to health, there's some pretty cool and neat health features and updates on this new watch. Like first, it can detect if you fall, and after you fall, if you're not moving or if you're unresponsive, it'll alert an emergency contact. The watch can also track your heart rate a lot better now and will actually alert you if your heart rate is too low or too high, which is actually pretty useful for me because I tend to overdo my workouts sometimes and get my heart pumping just a little too much. But now my watch will let me know if I need to take it easy or take it down a notch. And probably one of the coolest health features with the new watch that I unfortunately still cannot test out is that it can take an electrocardiogram. Like, it can actually perform an ECG with the built-in electrodes in the sapphire crystal on the back of the watch and the digital crown. All you gotta do is open up the ECG app, place your finger on the crown, and then 30 seconds later, it gives you an ECG reading. But yeah, hopefully by the end of this year, we'll be able to test it out with an update. The watch is also a lot snappier in performance now with the new S4 chip inside. Other than that, that's really all the major upgrades with the new watch. And if you're, like I said before, if you're considering to try it on an Apple Watch for the first time, if you've never had one before, this is definitely the time to do it, my friend, because this is the most complete Apple Watch experience yet. But honestly, my main reason for using an Apple Watch isn't even for any of the new features that I just talked about. It was already one of my favorite pieces of tech for everything else that it does. And I always get asked, like, is it really worth having one? Should I get one? Why do you even use one? And usually I do recommend it because there really is so many cool things about having one. Like, yes, it's cool to receive notifications on your wrist for your phone calls and your texts, but not just for that, also for your social media apps and emails. Pretty much anything that goes to your phone also comes in handy for when you're driving, and it'll tap on your wrist if you're using Apple Maps and guide you along the way with directions on your Apple Watch. And also, like I mentioned before, for answering phone calls. But if you have the LTE enabled version, it's even cooler because you can actually leave your phone at home and still answer phone calls, still receive notifications, and use all the apps on your watch like you normally would even with your phone around you. Even Apple Pay is still accessible without your phone, which is also cool to use with an Apple Watch because you just tap and go and you're good to go. And as cool as all of that is, my number one favorite thing about using my Apple Watch is filling my activity rings and hitting my daily health and fitness goals. And if you're not an Apple Watch user and you have no idea what Activity is an app that you can access on your phone, and with your watch, it'll track your health and fitness every day. It'll give you a daily move goal to track your active calories throughout the day, a daily exercise goal to get you to be active for at least 30 minutes a day if you follow it, and also a daily stand goal that gets you to stand for at least 1 minute for 12 hours of each day. And as silly as it sounds, I really do look forward to filling my circles every day. It's just really motivating, especially because you can share your activity with your friends and view each other's daily progress as you go. Also, with watchOS 5, you can actually start competitions with your friends and use a new walkie-talkie mode to bug them about it. Just all that stuff combined, even the new stuff, just adds up and creates an overall amazing workout experience with your Apple Watch. The Apple Watch has always been super accurate at tracking workouts too. I mainly use it to track my runs and anything I do at the gym, but it'll pretty much track any workout really well. And now it tracks them better than ever with watchOS 5, especially because it'll actually alert you if you forgot to start a workout, which, you know, I mean, sometimes you just forget, and now your watch will remind you. Ever since owning an LTE version of the watch too, I love that I can go to the gym and still access my music without having to bring my phone, and just keep me less distracted overall during my workout. But I just also love that I can do an outdoor run without the burden of carrying my phone on me. All in all, I love working out with my Apple Watch, and it's my number one motivator when it comes to working out. But again, none of that stuff is new. It's just the reason why I love using an Apple Watch. Now, all of that activity and workout stuff that I just mentioned, mixed with the new features of the Series 4, especially the looks of this one, is a reason why I found this upgrade super worth it for me. But again, not for everyone, especially looks alone. Like, not everyone loves having a square watch. Some people prefer that rounded, classic look to a watch. I just happen to really like the way it looks, especially now more than ever, but some people hate it. In true Apple fashion too, it's not the most customizable experience when it comes to a watch, but I feel like if you're an iPhone user and you're considering one, it's a great time to finally try it out.